it's Leigh Anne from here in the Ridge, and we're in the greenhouse today. I look after the houseplants, and today I'm going to show you how to do a mounted Staghorn Fern. So first of all, before we even start, what we're going to do is we're going to start soaking our moss. We want to make sure that it has enough water so it's pliable to fit around your root ball. We're going to just get it started soaking up some of that water. Let's see if we can fit 2 pieces in our little bowl here. So Staghorn Fern, it naturally grows in the rainforest, and it's an epiphyte, which means that it grows on other plants, which is why it'll survive on a cedar plank, or in this case, some barn board. So what you're going to do, first of all, get your moss soaking, and you're going to take your Staghorn Fern, you're going to take it out of the pot, and you're going to shake off as much excess soil as you possibly can. This one is really packed well in peat moss, so it's probably not going to lose very much of its soil, which is fine. And then what you're going to do is you're going to kind of place it on your board, kind of where you want it. And then what we're going to do, what we've done is we've pre-drilled some holes. You need to use soft wood. If you find you can screw in the eye screws, no problem, that's great. But pre-drilling the holes makes it so much easier. So you have your Staghorn Fern out of your pot, place it sort of where you think you might like it, and then you're going to screw in the eye screws. So we're going to just do that really quickly here, hopefully. There we go. Definitely makes it easier if you have the holes pre-drilled. You're going to go in a square. You're going to want to envision your mounted finished piece and how wide it's going to be so that you can make sure the root ball and the moss you're going to add all fits in, so you have nothing hanging out or that your moss doesn't fall away. Staghorn ferns like a bright indirect light in their natural habitat in a rainforest attached to a tree. There's a canopy over top of them, so they're not in direct sunlight. They like to stay somewhat moist, but they also have a shield on them that absorbs the moisture, and that helps feed the plant also. Mine at home, I mist it at least once a week. Sometimes we do that more often, obviously, in the greenhouse because it's a different growing environment. All right, so you've got your Staghorn Fern all ready to go. You're going to place it in the center of those 4 screws. Then you're going to take your moss and we're going to squeeze it out a bit to make it a little easier to work with. And then you're going to start placing it around the root ball. And what you have to be careful with Staghorn ferns is these fronds are fairly delicate, especially at the base. So try and be as gentle as you can while you're placing the moss around it. Same with the shields. They're very delicate also. Once they're in, just start kind of molding it, mostly with your palms if you can, just so you're not going to cause any damage to those fronds. Get all our pieces here, make sure it's covered nicely. You may want to just make sure that you can still see your screws so that you're able to thread it through to secure it. Once you feel like you have your root ball all covered with moss, take some florist wire and you're going to put it through the first eye screw and you're going to just twist it on. And then you're going to start crisscrossing and you're going to come over, pull it somewhat tight. As I say, you want to make sure that the moss stays where it is, protecting the roots. And again, I think what we're going to do is we're going to twist it here at this side, and then we're going to take another one. When we'll cut off our ends once we get to the finished. Actually, you know what we could do? Let's just scoot along the bottom here to the other side. There we go. And again, we're just going to attach it through the eye screw. Nice thing about the florist wire is it's nice and bendable. I'm losing a piece here. All right, and then we're going to start at this side, and we're going to put it through the eye hole, twist it as tight as you can, and go up and over. Make sure I get my seam here. I'm going to go over to the next one just as a base. Go back through. All right. And just crisscross it a few times just to make sure that it's nice and secure. You can even try standing it up, lifting it, making sure that it's going to stay where you've put it. Starting to wonder if I maybe needed a bit more moss. So looking at it now and after you've tightened it, I've noticed that you can still sort of see the eye screw. So what I think what we'll do is we'll just add some more moss. Then it'll definitely be nice and secure, I think. And of course, then you're trying to hide the eye screws a little bit. You kind of want to see them so you can work with them, but you also want to hide them. Mind you, when it's up on the wall, unless you have very tall people in your house, they're probably not going to see it. So just take some more moss, cover it. This also will add some more water retention for the root ball, the more moss you have on it. Just fill in your gaps. If you see any, I'm going to spin it so I can see this side. Let's just add a little bit more. Till we get it all covered up. I think that maybe looks a little better. And let's try. And we'll just crisscross it a few more times, and that should have it nicely in place. So, if you like, as you can see, I've got some florist wire hanging out. So what you can do is you can either push it in to the moss and it'll disappear, or if you got wire cutters, you can just snip them off. Just make sure everything's all nice and secure. I think that feels, shall we give it a go? Let's try it. Let's see if we've got it stuck. All right, I see a little piece here, so maybe we'll use one more piece of wire. All right, let's take one more piece of wire, and we're going to just cover that one section there. There we go. Let's give it a good squeeze. And I think we're going to just maybe go back over this way a little bit. All right, let's see. And there we go. So now what you need to think about is how do you want it to hang on the wall? The thing about the Staghorn Fern, there's many options. However you turn it, there's a different way it's going to look. So once you decide which end you would like up, then you're going to take your eye screws. Let's see. I think that works for me. I think that looks good. This is a bit of the tricky part. Let's see if this works. So if you have an empty pot at home, try setting your fern inside it, and this is going to help you hang it. I've got 2 pre-drilled holes, so you're going to take your last 2 eye screws and you're going to put them in. And screw them in. It's not very heavy. Probably the heaviest part is your board. So don't worry too much about the weight of it. I mean, obviously as it grows, it maybe will, but it might outgrow its moss ball and you're going to have to rethink how it looks. So you can take your wire And you're just going to twist in one side. And just twist it around. Kind of judge a little bit how it's going to look once you hang it. You're not going to want the wire to be sticking too far up above the board. Any excess piece of wire, I'm just going to twist it around the existing wire. Gives it a little bit more strength. And as I say, find a spot in your house that is a bright indirect light, and there you have your mounted Staghorn Fern. Thanks for watching and hope to see you soon. Bye.